lately I've been getting a lot of readings and they want me to do house blessings, or they want to know if they've been cursed. First of all, let's talk about curses. So for me, I feel that there are people out there that know what they're doing that would be able to do this. But I also know that it cannot affect us if we don't have a weakness. So a weakness to me would be some sort of guilt or some sort of fear, because when we have that and we believe that something should happen to us, or we feel bad about something, it kind of opens up the energy to allow something to happen. But if we have the confidence to realize that no, we don't deserve anything negative from this person, we did everything the best that we could, most likely it's going to be hard for anybody to curse you in that way. So a lot of times, like, we can put white light, we can do things outwardly, put salt around the house, we can do a blessing, we can take the energy off, we can meditate, we can put crystals around and all these things to try and take away a curse. But the one thing and the most important thing is that in your mind, you know that you are not deserving of this curse, because that's going to be the strongest power for you. When you can realize that you do not deserve this, and this is not going to affect you, and it's not going to happen to you, it helps to enforce the rituals and things that you are going to do to protect the energy. But once you have this doubt in mind, or someone tells you something like, oh, but do you feel bad? You know, did you do something to this person too? What did you do to make him angry? And you're thinking about these things. And if these things are true to you, that maybe you did do something to make them angry or upset or resent you for something, then that's when the guilt and the fear comes in. And that's when you're going to feel like you're getting cursed. And then your conscious mind opens that door or creates that path for you and makes it even easier for you for that to happen. And then sometimes people don't even know what they're doing, but they're cursing you because they're just throwing bad juju, bad negative energy, thinking bad thoughts or saying negative things. And same thing with those things. If you know that you don't deserve that and it's not true, and if you have that core strength inside of you of confidence and believing in yourself, your energy will just naturally protect you because of your strength of your mind. So a lot of times people ask what kind of rituals to do, and honestly, I could do many different things to help, but it's really going to be the person themselves to realize that there is no curse on them and that it cannot happen for them. And then also sometimes people use the word curse as an excuse and say that they're being cursed, but everybody goes through good and bad times in life. There's not one time where people will go through only happy times ever, and you never go through a negative thing. We have to realize that there's always good and bad things that happen, but the thing is that we will manifest that we are able to deal with these things in a really good way as they come. The reason why I say the word manifest is because we can create these things to turn out a little bit better for us by the way we feel, by the way we perceive things, by the tools and meditations and spiritual work that we go through. We can change it for ourselves. And then when we talk about house blessings, it's kind of similar in a way, because when I do a house blessing, I don't only do ritual, but I also open up my intuition and I scan the energy in the house for places that feel different frequencies. And it's kind of scary because sometimes I actually know a spot where the person passed away. So I would be in the house and I would be like, did your dad pass away right here against this wall? And they'll tell me, yeah. And it's kind of weird, but the energy does change. It's like I hate to say the word dead, but it's like a dead energy. It's like a different type of energy and you just know that's where the person passed. And it's interesting because back in the day, we used to talk about feng shui or feng shui, and we'd be like, oh, you put certain things around the room, and I was like, yeah, does that really work? But you know, it kind of does. And like certain areas of the room, the energy is really dead. Like I know someone passed there or something happened there, and they need something to raise the frequency. So I would tell them to put like flowers or something more lifelike there. And then I guess that's where feng shui plays a role in it. Of course, I'm not a feng shui consultant, but I'm thinking that's how it plays a role in it. And but yeah, I can kind of feel the energies in the house, and I can kind of pick up on where someone passed before, and also the environment on the outside as well. But the main thing that I actually focus on is the people that live there, because you can do all these different things to the house, but if the people that live there are so determined that their house is going to be haunted, or so determined that they have bad luck, or so determined that their neighbors are a certain way, or this land or whatever it is, their mind is fixated on that energy and they create it. So it's going to last longer. It's going to be harder to do a blessing. And no matter who helps them to get a blessing, sometimes they won't be able to get the help. The one thing that they would need is somebody that they really believe in, they really trust. And I want to say somebody that is a little bit intuitive, because they have to know and feel the energy frequencies around them. But yeah, so that's the other thing, is I always look at the people more than the house itself. I look at the house like it's a human body, and what I feel needs energy, and where and why it's a certain way, and the environment around it. And then I find different ways to heal it with energy and using different spiritual rituals and items. But again, like I said, I always go back to the people, because it always goes back to your inner self. The house is just an extension of what's going on within themselves. So I'm going to share with you how I use sage and how I cleanse the space. It's not for blessings though. Remember, blessings and just saging is two totally different things. Blessings is more like if you pick up that there's an entity or emotion or something, you're going to lift it off and you're going to clear that energy to maintain that energy. And there's a little more things involved, like you have to be really intuitive, and you also have to know some type of ritual or thing to help lift off this energy. But I want to share how I do saging and how I clear the space for that time being. Saging is more like maintaining the space, maintaining the energy in the space. Because if you're gonna, like, it's almost like dusting. So it's like if you're gonna do deep cleaning, you're gonna be scrubbing, you're gonna be mopping. But if you're gonna just maintain the space, you're gonna be dusting and sweeping. So that's how you look at sage. Like, you already know the space is clear, there's no negative energy in it, there's no entities in it, there's no attachments in it, but you wanna make sure that the space is still maintained and clean so that you can do your readings, your healings, your massages, or whatever you wanna do. And also you want to clear the energy after you do these things as well. So saging, I also sage when I bring something in from another place, whether it's even from a bookstore, whether it's from a used bookstore, whether it's from a crystal shop, or someone gave me something. Either way, it doesn't matter. Saging is also good if you're going to use any kind of ritual items. You want to make sure those things are saged as well. So first thing I do is I make sure that my fire alarms are not on. So I go around the house and I turn off the fire alarms for that moment. Then the second thing is I want to make sure there's a bowl that I have underneath the sage, because when you light the sage, you want to make sure that something catches the ashes, because for safety reasons, you don't want anything to catch on fire. And the other thing is it's kind of messy. You don't want ashes all over the place. When I sage something like an object or curtains or the walls, the sage of the smoke has to be pretty strong to me. Not like you're grabbing a little leaf and there's this little fine line of smoke coming through. You want the smoke to be kind of strong and thick. You want the trail to be kind of thick and strong. And the reason why is, to me, it's the smoke that lifts it off. So when you are saging something, you want to hold the object in one hand, like my tarot cards, and you're going to sage around it so it lifts off the energy. You can also lay the cards out and then sage the cards that way. And if the smoke is not touching it to lift it off, then what I do is I blow on the sage. So that the smoke is directed onto the cards and will lift it off. Same thing for myself. I just sage around me, around my body, and then any kind of product that I have that I'm saging, I also hold it in my hand and sage around it. And again, if the wind is blowing it so that the sage smoke is not on it, then I blow the smoke on it so that it's directed on top of it. And I go around the house or the rooms. I also make sure I sage the corners and the walls so that all of it is lifting off. And you do feel this light energy afterwards. It's more clear than before. If you cannot use sage for some reason, because say that you live in an apartment or a condo, then another thing you can do is you can use peppermint oil, lavender oil, and water. I mix the three together. I put it in a little spray bottle. I put that, I do a pinch of salt, and then you can put, I think they also have Palo Santo essential oil as well. You can add that. And they also have sage oil. You can add that as well. Sometimes I make my own concoction and I add other things in it as well too. But those are the main four that I put inside. The reason why is, for some reason, the lavender oil and the peppermint oil, I can feel when I spray it around my aura, I can feel it actually lifting something off. And it works pretty fast. And I used to use it when I did craft fairs, because sometimes it's in a house, or sometimes it's indoors and we're not allowed to light anything on fire. But if you are going to go that route, also don't spray it on your face because of the peppermint oil. When you work with energies, saging and purifying the place with peppermint oil and lavender oil is very helpful, because it clears the energy of what was there before, of what we talked about before, what we did healings on before, what we released any kind of emotions on before. And it starts off with a clean slate so that the next person that comes in you don't have all that residue sitting around your place. So that's just an extra tip on how I do saging and how I cleanse a space. Like I said, it's not a house blessing. House blessings is totally different. There's some more things that go into it. And I think, like I was saying in the beginning, it's really going to be about healing the people in it as well, doing rituals, holding that space for them, and checking every single room. It's a little bit more detailed than just maintaining or cleansing the room for that time being. But I hope you like this video, and if you do, please like it, give it a thumbs up, and also leave your comment below and tell me how you purify your space.